Hi, my name is Mikalae Roscoe. I was bullied in middle school and high school. It was by multiple people. It was never the same person, so I would never be able to pinpoint who it mostly was.
Just other peers.
Yeah, just other peers, people I went to school with, even those younger than me. I went to a small high school, so it was everyone knew everyone, and it didn't matter what grade you were in. We all kind of converged in the same areas. So, I mean, our high school was set up where there was high school on the bottom floor, middle school on the top floor, and elementary was in the school across I want to say street, but it wasn't really street, across the parking lot.
Oh, wow. Okay. And what are some things that they would say to you?
Um, I used to do this thing where, like, during homecoming and snowcoming, I actually only went to my school dances in freshman year, because my freshman year of high school they would ask me to the dances and then pick on me later because I actually said yes to these people, or I got picked on because of my weight, because I've always been bigger, and um got everything and everything you could think of. There's never one specific thing that I got picked on. I got picked on for actually volunteering in my high
Really?
school. I was part of volunteer groups and did a lot of volunteer work in high school, and I got picked on it.
Which is so interesting now because people look up to people who are volunteering and helping other people, and it's, such a great thing. But growing up, when you're a part of that, people don't really care what you're a part of because they're going to pick on you, not you, but in general, everyone who's been picked on. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. I did this program in high school. We called it the Lunch Buddies program, where a high schooler would take their lunch and they would go to the elementary to sit with a troubled child, a foster kid who is having trouble in school or trouble adjusting, or foreign children who are having trouble adjusting, or even just one child that they saw was kind of being outcasted, to just kind of give them a little leeway, like someone's paying attention, someone's there to help me. And you would sit with them all through lunch, and you could do homework with them if that's what you chose, or sit and talk, or sit in their cafeteria with their friends. You were just there as someone to help. And I used to get picked on all the time because I would go to the elementary to spend my lunches instead of in my high school cafeteria, because I would have rather have been with those elementary kids than in my own high school cafeteria.
Wow. Well, it was a great thing that you were doing at the time, and
Yeah.
it's such a bad feeling to know that you don't, feel like you can go to your own, school for lunch. I felt the same way. So that's difficult. So how did, the way that they would pick on you affect you in your day-to-day life, or like after school, or the way that you would react to different situations?
For a long time, I was very self-conscious. I didn't like my body. I didn't like this about myself. I don't like that about myself. I mean, you name it, and I was self-conscious about it. I did not have faith in myself. And growing up, I had issues with self-harm. I was very depressed, and um, I had to go to therapy because of everything that had happened growing up. And I had to seek help because I didn't feel I was enough to do anything in life.
Okay, that's that's definitely very difficult to deal with. And a lot of kids, I talk to a lot of people about this, but they don't want to go to therapy. And I actually just had this conversation with someone, but a lot of kids are afraid to go to therapy, or they don't think it's, cool, but really it can help get you through so much.
Yeah. I was self-harming, and my mom found out about it one day, and she and I sat down and talked. And my mom has been my rock my whole life. And we sat down and we talked about it, and we agreed that I needed to talk to somebody, and so she put me in therapy when I was sophomore and junior in high school. And it wasn't something that I wanted to do, but after talking with my mom, I knew it was something that she wanted me to do, so I did it for her, and it wound up being the best thing that I could have ever done, because by my freshman year in college, I was doing so much better being away from all of those kids. And by that time, the the bullying had, I don't want to say stopped, but it definitely lessened because everybody had grown up. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Right. And it's hard to see during that time when you're going through school, but my parents would always tell me everybody grows up, everybody changes. And it's interesting because then people reach out to you and some people apologize and some people just say like, "Oh, I was going through a difficult time in school." So it's interesting to see the other side when people who have picked on you and bullied you say to you like, I was really struggling. High school, that was like the worst year of my life. Those were the worst years of my life. And it's so interesting to see. Not everybody is like that, but it they people do grow up, and that's important to know.
Mhm.
So you said yet you had a friend in high school that committed suicide. What happened?
Um, Back then, my tiny little school was a horrible place to go to school. We were in transitions of having a much older principal. I mean, he was pretty close to retiring, so everything was still kind of done the old school way. If you got picked on, the teachers and principals would look the other way while you either handled the situation or you broke down. And in my eighth grade year, it was 2 years before our high school principal retired. Um, my friend was picked on bad. He used to be on the football team, and they would do things like they would pee in his water bottle and not tell him,
That's
or he was on the
terrible.
football team and they would pee on the mouth guard, and no one would know, and they would laugh about him when he freaked out about it. And he was an odder kid, you know what I mean? He had his own way of doing things. He was out there. He liked
Right.
being eccentric and being different. That was always who he was. And he got picked on a lot. And it would have been his freshman year, my eighth grade in middle school. One day he decided that enough was enough, and he actually shot himself when he was after school one day. He'd gone out behind the school. There, we have a place that we call Rails to Trails. He went out on the Rails to Trails, and that's where he died.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's traumatic, and that's so sad, and I so appreciate you sharing that story with us. It's a lot of people struggle with suicide, and that's how they deal with these issues. That's how bullying can really affect people. I mean, it's important that we spread awareness about it and people realize this so that we can try and, inspire other people. You're telling me, you love what you do for work and life now. And it's so crazy how things have changed so much. And it is possible to be happy in life and find what you love. And school is just such a small part of it. But people need to
Yeah.
learn to be kinder to each other.
Yeah, I definitely agree. In high school, I wasn't very self-conscious. I didn't have, you would have never caught me doing this in high school.
Oh,
I
yeah,
never would
me
have been
either.
able to do
Yeah, me,
it.
me either.
But after high school, I started to kind of take my life back and realize that I am who I am, and no one's gonna change that. I went through a couple of hardships after school, and um, I actually met a friend of mine when I started working here. I'd been out of college for a year and out of high school for almost 3 when I started this job, and I met a really, really great friend of mine who's no longer in the picture. He doesn't work here anymore, and he went home to his family, and there's a long story beyond that.
Yeah.
He really, really helped me see that I didn't need to be self-conscious of who I am, that, no matter how I look or what I do or how I feel, I'm beautiful no matter what I am.
That's a really, really great lesson to learn in life because it's so true. Everybody is beautiful and unique, and what makes you authentic is beautiful. And, there's so much out there in this world, and that's something that people should realize is that being unique and being authentic is actually what gets you to where you want to be in life, and that's what brings out more happiness, and we need more of that. So,
Yes.
okay, so what is one piece of advice that you would give to someone maybe in high school or any age in school that might be in a similar situation that you were in?
If I had to tell somebody that was in the same situation as me, I would tell them to just keep going. No matter what, life is going to throw curveballs. It's going to throw hardships at you. And no matter what, it's just something you're going to deal with the rest of your life. And you've got to think of your life right now. Anything going on is just a hardship, and it's something that will pass. It will. It may not seem like it now, but it will pass. It will be something that you're going to think back on one day and go, I can't believe that happened, or that was my life.
That's so true. That's a great piece of advice. And I think that a lot of people can really benefit from that. And it's good to have that reminder. And no matter what you're going through in life, you might be out of school or in school, but just knowing that everything is temporary. And in the moment, it might not seem like it's going to pass, but it's true. It really, really does. It does.
Yeah. Everything in life does pass. You've got to have the strength to get through. And I've always thought of it as, this is happening to me now, but you know what? It's going to make me stronger in the end. I'm going to be a better person in the end.
And it does. And look at how far you've come and what you're doing in life. You're doing what you want to be doing. And like you said, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And it's not just about work either, but finding your passions and what you like, that
Yep.
It's out there and it's possible, and I really appreciate you sharing your story and being so brave to put it out there and help inspire other people. Well, thank you again so much for sharing your story. That's so brave of you, and I'm excited to spread awareness together.
Yes, thank you.